Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm very happy to be here with you tonight, and I'm gonna sing a couple of songs, and I hope you enjoy it. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part, vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into song. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Good evening for all of you that is starting. So welcome to our spiritual meeting today. So let's sing another song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in her door. The solution lies in her door. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Good evening for those that are coming right now. Welcome to our meeting tonight. I'm gonna sing another song to prepare our aura, to prepare our room, to prepare ourselves to be part of this beautiful night. And we're gonna talk about the gospel according to Spiritism. So, love in action. Oh Jesus, here I am, my knees on the floor, to say thank you, my Lord, for the life that come through this door. Your love is the key to change entire world. Using these chains wisely, we will live in peace and harmony. Now I understand, helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all this transformation, we just have to put love in action. Now I understand, helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action.
Seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining We'll be healed by your love. Disseminate wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. As our Master Jesus taught.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start. When the sun turns off the moonlight, we get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise. And on the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, the new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, and the new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Concaprus Americas through their Facebook and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. East by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East. New class will be starting on September 90th. The registration link will be released soon, so stay tuned. We offer virtual live gospel at home. Did you know that? The Gospel at Home is an effective support for you and your family spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing and maintaining the Gospel at Home study meetings. By posting the chat, you can request it. Please let us know. You are welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list of positive vibration for incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing energy and strength goodwill. Please find the link in our chat. The topic of today's meeting is the individual in the world. Items 9 to 11 from chapter 17, Be Perfect, which will be facilitated by our sister Veronica from Unipac. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. And now we invite our tonight's speaker. Welcome, Veronica. How are you?
I am good. Hi, Marcel. How are
I'm,
you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so happy to be
You?
here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would like to invite you to do our opening prayer as well, okay?
Okay, my pleasure.
I'll
Hi, everyone. Yeah, see you later. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our talk today. It's a pleasure to be here. So let's start with our opening prayer. If you can join me. So let's close our eyes and elevate our thoughts and our heart in gratitude to God, our Creator, full of love, perfection, and justice. In gratitude for this reincarnation, in gratitude for the days we live on earth, learning, amending our mistakes from the past, and marching together towards a better being. We thank you, dear Lord, because we are here today and now, listening to teachings that can fill our hearts with courage, with faith, with hope. Dear Master Jesus, our divine friend, we ask that your vibration of love and peace can envelop all of us that listen to this talk today. that listen to your teachings so that we can find calm in our lives and can find the safe guidelines to path our life towards your teachings, towards love, towards peace, towards a better world. We ask the good spirits to be here with us tonight, guiding us, inspiring us to listen with the ears of our souls so that we can get our spirits fulfilled with teachings of truth and life. Thank you, God. Thank you, Master Jesus. So be it. All right. So I'm gonna start by it's already shared here. So today, as Marceli said, we are gonna talk about the individual in the world. And this is the end of chapter 17 about being perfect. And as the end of the chapter, we have Spiritist teachings. So these are the direct instructions received from the spirits that tell us how we should live our lives in the world. So today we are going to discuss three main topics. So the main topic we are going to study, if I can move my slides, will be about superiors and subordinates. So this first message from the spirits tell us about the differences we see in the world, in our lives. So we see people that take positions of leadership, authority, and people who are under in, in terms of power are subordinates to these individuals. So many times we see big differences, and many times we don't really understand. We see people from different levels of moral in different positions, or either superior or as subordinates. So let's see what the spirits tell us about how should we understand these differences and how we should act, right? That which is more important, us as individuals living in this world, how we should see this. So to start, we it comes to the conclude the spirits come to tell us, to remind us that we do not own authority or privileges from the authority we may have. So we might be a leader in our family, we might be the boss in our work, we might be a director, we might take a position where we have other staff that report to us, but we don't own this authority. This authority is given to us temporarily. And what seems to be privilege is that these positions we take on earth, it could look like privileges, but the spirits are going to tell us that's a little bit different. So let's see. So first, we don't want this authority that we might think we do, because God can show us that the authority is neither a right or a possession, because God can take away whenever deemed necessary. And we know many situations where people might be in a high ranks, in a position, being very successful, have a good career, and suddenly things happen in their lives, tragedies happen, and they lose everything. So that really shows how temporary these social positions are in our lives. So authority then, as much as wealth, is a responsibility that those who possess it must be accountable for. So the Spiritists tell us that it's not that it's a privilege or a right that we can enjoy, or authority. The positions we take in society are not there for us to enjoy. But with that, it comes big responsibility. So the higher our uh, position, power, or social benefits we might have, the greater is our responsibility towards how we use this power, this authority, and we will be accountable for. And then somebody might ask me, well, Veronica, many times, yeah, that sounds fair, but many times we see people in higher positions making huge mistakes, being unfair, mistreating people, being all types of discrimination, humiliating people. Where, how come they are, and they are not accountable for? So this accountability should happen on Earth for sure, but we are still crawling in our evolution. So we are not still, we don't have a full sight of justice, and our society still have to work better in order to bring equity towards all, right, and making these people accountable. However, within the divine laws and in front of God, no mistake is hidden. And when the spirits are saying that all it is irresponsibility will be accounted for, it is accounted for through the divine laws. So perhaps we won't see in this world justice being made, but mistakes we make in misuse of power, or misuse of our responsibilities get imprinted within our conscious, and we'll have to fix our mistakes and make some reparations later. So the spirits also talk about the differences between superiors and subordinates, authority and those who don't have any authority, and uh, they are submiss, right? They are under this power. And the spirits tell us that every person on earth has a purpose, big or small, and it is always intended for the greater good. Failing to uphold this principle means failing to fulfill their mission. So there's no single person in this on earth that doesn't have a purpose, a mission, a task to complete for the greater good. This means that when we reincarnate, we don't reincarnate with a plan to cause evil, to do bad things, to destroy things, but we reincarnate on earth in a condition that allow us to do the greater good. And so, well, why we see so many tragedies then, right? Mistakes, wrongdoings in the world. It is because we have something called free will, right? We come on earth with a big plan, a good plan, but then we decide sometimes that maybe taking advantage or a shortcut will will get some benefits, personal, individual benefits, and by being selfish, sometimes we deviate from this greater good that is on our way. And that's failing to fulfill our mission. And that makes sense because God would not, in God's perfection, which is beyond our full understanding, God would never make us to fail. God would never make us in a situation that we cannot accomplish, right? It is our weaknesses that sometimes go above our responsibilities. So the spirits are going to go further saying how we should then deal with these difficulties and these differences. So we learn a few things from Spiritism, right? So Spiritism teaches, the first thing, Spiritism teaches that all social differences are temporary. So today, I might, I might be in a position of a leadership and I have other people under my supervision. Next life, or even within this life, I might be in a different position. We might take turns, right? So all the present social difference is temporary. So I might reincarnate as a servant. I might reincarnate as a leader of a nation, as a CEO in a big company. So I might have different roles because these roles vary in order for us to account for our mistakes, in order for us to learn new skills, to gain intelligence, to gain knowledge and moral values. So many times we are placed in a leadership situation because we need to learn to be compassionate toward others, to be able to guide people, to be able to be a good leader. Sometimes we are in a position where we don't have a voice, or we follow orders, because sometimes we have to practice humility, sometimes we have to learn skills that we still don't possess, or gain knowledge that we still don't possess to be in a leadership position. The Spiritism also teaches that everyone who holds authority are responsible for the well-being of those under their care. So now Spiritism is telling us that um, a prominent position doesn't mean that we are enjoying the pleasures of being that position, but on the contrary, we are responsible for those who are under our care. So the leader of a nation is responsible for everyone living in that nation, everyone visiting the nation, because it is the top position in that nation. So a leader in a city, a mayor, is responsible for all residents living in that nation. A teacher in a classroom is responsible for the well-being of all students in that classroom. So we can see here the big responsibility that we take when we get into positions of leadership. For subordinates, then, so the students, the residents, the people under our care, servants. So for subordinates, their conscience will remind them even more strongly that they cannot shrink their responsibilities. So even whoever is in the lower ranks, they have responsibilities even if their superiors fail to fulfill theirs. So as a good spiritist, we should remind ourselves that it's not because we are at the bottom of the ranks that we are just going to do a mediocre job. We should we should fulfill our responsibilities in there, do our work well. Um, accept struggles, we should accept struggles as a trial that cultivates humility, which is necessary for our own progress. So, Spiritism teaches that all struggles we live in life, from differences in social differences, we or social struggles we experience, um, through individual difficulties, right? Illness, difficulties in difficult relationships at work, with family. These could all be trials for us to cultivate humility, understanding, to strengthen our faith, that are necessary to our progress. Okay, so I brought here um, a story that is described in the book Good News, which, by the way, we are going to study in the summer. This summer, during the summer months, while we have a break from our regular Spiritism courses, we are going to study. And as Marcelle said earlier, we are going to be announcing times and dates very soon. So the study will be, this book is only in English, in Portuguese for now, but we'll be providing the text translated to English, and we'll have the study in both Portuguese and English for those who are interested. So this story is described in chapter 18 of the book Good News by the Spirit Humberto de Campos, through the mediumship of Chico Xavier. So it is a dialogue between Peter and Jesus. So Peter was a little bit, he came to Jesus to ask a question because he was kind of pressured by his wife, actually, asking Jesus to, oh, maybe Jesus could help us out and have a better life, because we struggle so much, we are poor, we work so hard, and Jesus is so powerful as the master, maybe he can help us out. So Peter starts asking Jesus about prayers, if all prayers are heard. And Jesus said that yes, all prayers are heard, don't doubt it. But then he continues, right? So if God hears everyone's prayers, why do some people have such different fortunes, right? People have such different lives. Why am I stuck fishing for a living while Levi earns a good salary working with taxes and using his book smarts, right? So, and Levi, right, he was a tax collector, and at that time, in the Jewish society, tax collectors were not very well seen because they worked for the Roman government, right? So he was questioning, right, these differences. And he gives another example. And why does Joanna de Cusa, which is in another chapter, her story, which is beautiful, beautiful story of devotion. She was the wife of a prominent person in the Jewish community that had a very good relationship with the Romans. So she had a very good life. They were rich, and she had servants, right? So that's why he's asking, so why does Joanna have many servants while my wife and I have to work hard in our garden, right? So Peter is asking questions that many times we ask ourselves, right? How come we see such differences that not necessarily seems that the good person gets everything, and the ones that do wrongdoings, they don't get anything? We sometimes don't see that, right? So why in that case that everybody is pretty good, right? Try to follow Jesus' teachings, but still they are so different in society. Well, here's Jesus. So Jesus It's hard to summarize, right? What Jesus tell us in his teachings, because every single word is important. So, but I brought here some ideas about what was Jesus' answer to Peter. So Jesus said, the task vary according to our capabilities and efforts. Today you fish. Tomorrow you will preach the divine word of the gospel. So, what Jesus is telling us here is that as we learn and as we progress, we will get more different responsibilities. So, he's telling Peter here, you are a fisherman today, and but you are learning about the gospel and you are going to spread the good news. And we know that Peter had a big responsibility, his responsibility, right? He was the rock which the church was raised, right? So Peter was a leader later, but he had to learn. So he had to improve his capabilities. He had to put an effort on it to progress. Jesus says also, every honest work is from God. Every honest work is from God. So, no matter if you are a servant, no matter if you are the emperor, if you are doing honest work, if you are trying to do good in your work the best you can, your work is from God. So, again, God, it is we it is impossible for us to consider that God would place someone incapable in a position of leadership. But leaders make mistakes because of their own weaknesses. But if they were put in that position, is because they have capability to do things for the greater good. So every work, honest work, is from God. And which of the two bears greater responsibility? Your wife, so he's asking Peter, your wife who cultivates vegetables in the garden, or our sister Joanna, who has some daughters of God under her care? So here, Jesus is bringing the idea that Joanna doesn't have servants. These servants are first and foremost sisters and children, daughters of God that are under her care. So she should be just with them. So the daughters, the servants under her care are not there to fulfill her desires, right? To to make it's not for her to make absurd requests, but it is for her to be just, to be a leader, and to care for them as well. Who can guarantee that Joanna will have this responsibility for her entire life? And it is actually, she doesn't have that responsibility, she doesn't get that responsibility for the entire life. And if you're curious about what happened with Joanna de Cusa, you have to read the book. But this, in this passage, what Jesus is reminding us that everything is temporary. Even the position that Joanna has, even the position that we have right now, is temporary. Who guarantees that we'll be in the same place, in the same responsibility, in the same social position for our entire life, or in next lives? We don't know. We must ultimately consider ourselves as children and servants of God above any other conventional title within human life. So Jesus is being here telling us to how we should live our lives. So our lives, our roles We are servants, we are children of God, and beyond and above any conventions of titles that we have on earth. So it is necessary, therefore, that we open our hearts to serve God well, whether as kings or slaves, knowing that the Father knows and guides us to the work or position we deserve. So we are never in the wrong place. Right? Many times we comment, oh, I was born in the wrong family. I am in the wrong job. I don't land in a good job, in my perfect job, because that's what we need to progress. Right? No matter how we even if we change, we'll be always we may not be fully happy about it, because it is are these roles we assume in society, we take in society, that make us progress, and sometimes we have to progress through struggles. Okay, so the second spirit teaching comes about the title of the study of tonight's study, which is the individual in the world, and I have that in highlighted just to remind us that the title is not the individual of the world, is the individual in the world, which means that we are not from this world. We are just living in this world. So it comes again the idea of the temporal situation, right? That everything is temporary. We are just being in this world. We are living in this world, but we are not from this world. So, how should we live in this world then? Right? If we are just here temporarily, so what should we do? So, Spiritism gives us the key about how we should live in this world, right? So, the spirits um, the spirits recommend that we should live in this world as a compassionate heart, with a compassionate heart, when seeking assistance from the good spirits. So we should always cultivate in our hearts compassion, love, and charity, because that attracts good spirits. So guess what? If we cultivate in our hearts envy, angry, selfishness, that doesn't attract assistance of good spirits. Is going to attract spirits with the same type of sentiments. So we choose the type of spirits we want around us, assisting us. So we should clean our hearts and don't let any worldly or useless thoughts dwell in it. So we should try to live in this world thinking as in living as spirits. And it is hard, right? You're going to tell me, oh, it is so hard, because we have things in the world to care for, right? We have this physical body that we need to care for. We need to pay our bills. We need to work, and we have responsibilities. But we should clean our hearts. But the point here is, what is our priority, right? Am I going to waste my entire life and energy through because of material things, or should I think about the spirit, right? About my spiritual development, about my spiritual growth. And that's what the spirits are recommending. Always think, always remember about our spiritual progress. And lift your spirits so that good spirits can find the right mindset. So the connection, right? We should vibrate good sentiments, good emotions, good thoughts to attract good spirits. And when we attract the help, the assistance of the good spirits, they are going to inspire us with good thoughts, good sentiments. And what is saying here is that our soul will be nurtured by sentiments of charity and justice. So we create this close connection with the good spirits, and in the spiritual connection, we start to share these good sentiments. So it is an exercise that has to happen during our life, in our life here on earth. So the spirits also uh, uh, make a warning that we should do this through prayer and spiritual connection, but it doesn't mean that we have to live a mystical life in the sense that we have to isolate ourselves from society and for our responsibilities while living on earth. They said no. On the contrary, we should live among our fellow men and women in this era. So we should live the way society is now, just as everybody else. But we should observe social obligations and even the trivialities of the day, but do so with a pure intention that can sanctify our actions. Okay, so the spirits are very clear here that we have to live among others, and people are different, and we are called to engage with spirits of different natures, which explains all the differences, right? All dissension. And today, as the world evolved to a world of regeneration, we see how much conflict are because people have different points of view in very strong opposing points of view. But we are invited to live together, to learn together. We should avoid conflicts with any of them, right? We should avoid conflicts. We should be joyful and content, but let our happiness come from having a clear conscience and the anticipation of inheriting heaven, which means we know that heaven, hell doesn't really exist, but the heaven is our peace of mind, is our place as spirits, as evolving spirits. So we should have that clear in mind. That's our end goal. The end goal is not to have a is not it doesn't stop and have a good retirement. Of course, if we have a good retirement, maybe it's a great opportunity for us to work and serve more on earth. But the end goal is our spiritual life, right? That's our real end goal. So, how else we should live in the world? It is enough to present all your actions to the Creator who granted you this life. So, this the recommendation here from the Spirit, the Protector Spirit, is we should in every action dedicate to God. Every single action we are going to do, and ask God for our blessings to complete our responsibilities. So I was thinking about that. You know, when we make a mistake and sometimes we try to get a shortcut to get some advantage of a situation, imagine if we think about God at that moment and we ask God for God's blessing, right? We make a prayer asking for a blessing towards the wrongdoings we are doing. I think that would probably stop us from doing many things. So I think that's a great advice for us to remind that we are servants of God, and by that we every action we do will be accounted, right? For God as our boss, right? At the end of our work, right? At the end of work, when we have our performance review by God, God might want to know what we have done, right? So it's good to remember what should we be doing. And to end the study tonight, the last point is about caring for our body and spirit, because until now we spoke that we should live in this world remembering but we should always keep in mind that we are spirits. This is temporary, so should I care about my body at all? Well, the question is, have you seen any person, any spirit living here in this world without a body? What can we do without a body, without a body in this world? And the spiritual manual tells us that the physical body is the divine machine that the Lord lent us to create our happiness on earth. So, physical body is a divine machine. Divine machine is a machine that comes from God. It was not us who made the machine, right? So it is given to us, is landed. It lends, Lord, the God lends to us, which means that we don't own our bodies. It is it is a mortgage, right, for us to live in, right? So we buy a house, we contract a mortgage to pay for the house. So basically we are paying. So our mortgage regarding our body is taking good care of this body. Otherwise, how can we reach happiness on earth? And does be morally perfect means punishing or denying the body then? So do perfect. Remember, this chapter is about being perfect. So to be perfect, should we just put our body on the side and neglect it? No, right? The Spirit said we need to acknowledge the importance of taking care of our bodies, as they greatly influence our souls, which can be seen as prisoners within the flesh. So we are spirits and we are prisoners of our body. So do you want a clean, healthy, good prison or not? So we should, for the soul to live, move, and even have the illusion of freedom, we should take care of our body. So to end here, so how then should we maintain this balance between the spirit and the body? So neither suppressing the body or the spirit is going to work, right? Any thought or philosophy that tries to defend 100% body or 100% spirit is misguided. So the Spiritism reveals that this close relationship between body and soul requires us to take care of both. So we should love our soul, but also care for our body, as it is the instrument of the soul. Neglecting the needs indicated by nature means neglecting God's law. And here we have science with lots of information, how much knowledge we have about things we should do to care for our body. So we know about food intake, diet, exercise, sleep, right? So many things. And so then we should will you become more perfect if you torture your body? No, right? um, we true perfection lies in, so we will become more perfect if we torture our body for being making mistake, or while still being selfish, proud, or lacking compassion. No, right? True perfection lies entirely in the reforms and changes within our spirit. Discipline, control, humble, and refine your spirit. That is the path to making it obedient to God's will and only way to lead to perfection. So that's end the our study of today. I hope we can have a good reflection these coming days about our life here on earth, while on earth, right? But with our minds and our hearts thinking about our spirit as an immortal being. Okay, so Marceli, I think Marceli has to come back, right? And you're muted, dear.
Sorry. I
Okay,
said what a great talk. Thank you so much. Thanks so
thank
much for your
you.
presentation and reflections on this lesson, right? We do have some questions in the chat,
Mhm.
questions and comments. So Rod is asking something for you. Since everything here is temporary, how can we define our goals and maintain a healthy balance between earthly and spiritual pursuits? Great talk, Veronica. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that is so. The balance is always the struggle, right? So there's a joke. There's a joke that if we do in a 24-hour day, everything that's good for our health, mental health, physical health, we don't have enough time, right? We say, oh, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. We say about 8 hours of sleep, reduce our stress, eat all meals well, balance and everything. We don't have time, right? For everything. So it is a struggle. So it is in every person, because it's different, has their individual needs as well.
Mhm,
So it is a reflection on maybe looking at what is we need and differentiate from what we want, right? If we reduce everything to what we really need, then we might be able to differentiate between that. But we have to find the balance. So, in terms of the physical, the earthly needs, so work, right? Sometimes we get sick by working extra hours because we have some desire to have a better income or more money than maybe we need. So it is what we really need, or it's just because what we really want, right? So it is a good reflection in finding this space for spiritual growth, right? Spiritual development. And that's a good point also for children, right? People raising children and youth, to have them to reserve that space for their spiritual health.
mhm.
It's a part of health as well.
Yeah, true. Thank you. And Publio is asking why I should put all my efforts to be a better person since we see bad people in good position. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I would think about the company I get, first of all, right? So if we become a better person, we'll have better spirits around us. So just by starting by that, so you have a better guidance in the spiritual, invisible
Mhm,
realm, right? The other thing is that, let's say there was no kind of spiritual assistance, we were just an individual by ourselves.
mhm.
Then it's a matter of our conscience, right? When we lay down at night, can we sleep well in peace
Yeah.
if we made better choices, if we
Mhm,
make bad choices? And that's depends on each person. So the for the ignorant, the evil is the ignorant person, right? It's just a lack of knowledge
mhm.
most of the time. So for the ignorant, they sleep well, right? Because they don't have that consciousness. But after we come to a certain level of knowledge and understanding about the spiritual life, we cannot go back.
Yeah. We our conscience like blame us, right?
Yes.
Tell us something that we are doing wrong or
Yeah.
right, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not God. It's not the human justice. Is not anything. It is our own conscious.
Yeah. And I think we need to think every time that everything happens for a reason. So if someone a bad it's a bad person, it's in a good position, we need to think that there is a reason for that, right? So God knows everything, and
Yes. Yeah, sometimes it's not up to us to make justice because we
yeah,
don't even know what is just, right?
it's true.
But we know that there's no wrongdoing that's not going to be accountable for.
Yeah,
So
we need to do our part, right?
exactly.
For it to be better. And the other one, he needs to be better, but if he thinks that he needs to, right? So we need to
Yeah.
do it for ourselves.
We pray for them, right? We pray
Yeah.
for them
Hmm.
to for enlightenment and hope.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcel. Thanks
You have a good
everyone.
day. Bye bye. Thank you. And thank you for your participation in the chat. We will now move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. PASS is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. PASS help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instruction or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So I invite everyone to close our eyes if you wish, and elevate our thought to our Heavenly Father. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to learn more about your teachings. We thank our sister Veronica, who brought us such an enlightening explanation about the individual in the world and your teachings about how we evolve ourselves. We thank you, Master Jesus, for your love, your mercy, and your faith on us. We ask you and the good spirits to bless us, our family, and all the names on our vibration list. May we can finish this spiritual treatment much better than when we started. Please, Lord, provide us everything we need to be a better person. Thank you for everything you have done for us, and please stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you, in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. And please don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and Spiritist group Path of the Light. Have a good night.
Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend, the sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in